In computer science, we have a very important topic called computer networks. So we are going to follow a very good book from Tanenbaum, Femster and Weatherall. And the content I have taken is just for educational purpose. The copyright is with the authors and the publisher. So let us start with the chapter number 1, which is the introduction. We will talk about various topics because all the introductory part is here. If you go back to history, what we see in past 3 centuries, there were some path-breaking technologies. If I take you to 18th century, it was all about industrial revolution. We saw great mechanical systems. It was all about the industries like the cotton, textile, all these industries came up. Then there was another very important technology called steam engine in the 19th century. And then came the computers. This is the first computer I'm talking about, ENIAC, 20th century. And the whole idea was information, data gathering, processing, and distribution. So the computer will work on some data, so how to gather it, how to process it, and to distribute it. This was the new technologies, and the way to do all these things has come up in 20th century and still ongoing. Along with this, there were various developments which we need to talk about, like the telephone networks, invention of the radios and the televisions, and then the computer. The extraordinary, the unprecedented growth of computer science, computer industry, it was exponential. The satellites were made, launched, communication satellite, the Earth observation satellite, and then came the internet. So, because the things have changed now, the ability of the systems and the individual to gather, process and distribute the data or the information, it has grown over the years. So we have all the data-centric things. So we need some sophisticated information processing. This is in demand. That is why as the ability grows, the processing techniques grows. Uses of computer networks. As I said, computer industries has taken an exponential curve growth. And when this computer science, computers, that is the computing devices, they came up with communication, to talk, to communicate, to send, to receive. Now, when this communication combined with or aggregated with computers, the computer system, how they are made, has changed. Previously, when single computer used to work, or we used to work on a single computer, now the things have changed. The organizational, institutional, computational needs have changed. And now we have multiple computers with high computing powers. They are interconnected. Now the computers are interconnected, and these systems of interconnected computers are called as computer networks. So computer network is a collection, is an interconnection of autonomous computing devices. So first thing is they need to be interconnected. Second thing, they are autonomous computing devices. I'm talking about your laptop. I'm talking about your smartphone. I'm talking about the electronic gadgets at your home. So this is computer network. Now when computers are connected, say 2 computers are interconnected, they can exchange the information, the data. They can send, they can receive. How do they do it? There has to be some transmission media. Nowadays we don't see we don't see wires. All are wireless. But the still technologies which are there, the transmission take place through media copper wire. This is the transmission media, the fiber optic cable, the radio waves. We use microwave, infrared, communication satellites are also there as a mean of transmission media. So networks are basically connected to make larger networks. And the networks of network is called the internet. The internet is network of network, internetworking. So I am making one more network and I'm combining this with the earlier network I made. This is the networks, internet. Now, whenever we talk about a computing device, we have to talk about the data, information. So whenever we go to a web browser, say Google, Chrome, then we just type what we want and we get linked to various websites. We can go to various social media sites. So now the way of accessing information is quite easy. You have mobiles in your hand, smartphones in your hand. We have mobile apps. Now this can also access some remote information anywhere in the globe. New establishment, new organization, they are actually starting online. Okay, if you want to have a taxi, book taxi, you need Ola, Uber. Now if you want to book some food, get some food on your doorstep, you'll do Food Panda or say, Save Hunger or Swiggy. Even the information, which is very important, the news, as the news has become online, it has gone to various, audiences, large and broader audiences. Now you see TV on the news on the television, the more news is on the internet, that is the YouTube. The channel have now migrated to YouTube because this is an online platform. Even the online publishing, the social media platforms like the e-commerce website, online publishing, they are doing the work because they are giving you notifications on your behavior. If you go to e-commerce and type something, content will come again on your browser or somewhere. Like the online digital libraries, like the ACMs and the IEEE computer societies, they are putting their journals and the conference proceedings online. So you are able to know what is happening, every one of us. And most of the, internet information accessing is done through a model called a client-server model. A client-server model. So client and a server. As the name suggests, client will explicitly ask for something, some information from server. Server being the dominating one, it will honor the request, return the request. So this is a picture of two clients using the computer network to ask server to access information, to get the information. So how does it work? The client-server model. This is the widely used and this is the basis of various other network usage. I can give you an example of that. Computer science has developed. So we have the web application. This is the most popular realization of client-server model, the web application. So how does it work? You might have seen your web application, web apps. Now here, when the web app request it as a client, then the web pages which are on the server, it will be generated. The web, you are on a browser and the web pages may be in the database that will be responded to the client request. So a client will ask the server will get it from the database and will respond to you. So client-server model is not just in a building, it is applicable even to opposite corners of the globe. So if you are in India and there is a server or in Los Angeles, then also you can get the information. For example, a person at home, it is accessing a page through World Wide Web, www, the internet, or the remote web server, and the person is sitting at his home, the client. So a server can handle multiple thousands and lakhs of clients simultaneously. Previously when it was conceived and was being made, the clients were limited. Now we have thousands and thousands of clients which are requesting from the server, and there are many servers also. So how does it work? How does it work? In a client-server model, there are two processes. I will talk about TCP, UDP, all those connections in the later discussions. But here, to be as a naive user, we need to understand there are two processes. One is running on the client, one is running on the server machine or a computing device. So client process on the client machine, server process on the server machine. Now, how does the communication take place? The client process is going to send a message using the network to the server process. So these are actually the computer programs. So these are communicating. So client is sending a request. Now client will wait because it has sent a message. Now it will wait for the reply message. So now the server, whenever it gets the message, it will reply to the request from the client. So the reply will be sent back to the client. So this is how the communication works. Client requests, server responds. Client requests, server responds. Now, another model, because we just talked about the client server, there is another model for accessing information. This is peer-to-peer communication. Peer is your friend, the person who is sitting with you, who are working with you. So peer-to-peer, peer is actually that, the term meaning is that. Now, this individuals, they form a loose group and they communicate with one another in the group. As you see here in the picture, one person can talk to another person, one person can talk to multiple persons. So there is no fixed division here as client and server. So client and server is not fixed here. There is no fixed division here. I'll give an example of BitTorrent. This is also a peer-to-peer system. So we don't have a central database of content. Each user is going to maintain its own local database of content. That is very important. Each user has its own local database of content. Now, whenever a new user will come, what he will do? Because there is no central database. A new user can see for the existing member what he has, and this will iteratively go on. That is, this looking up of from a new user repeated indefinitely will build a large local database. For example, sharing of music, sharing of videos. This is why peer-to-peer communication is normally used. But I'll give you an example of Napster. What happened around 2000? Napster became so popular because it was all about sharing music and videos. Because of the copyright infringement, it was taken down. Napster was shut down. And let me tell you, the most popular internet application, which is your email, you are using it on daily basis worldwide. If you go conceptually, this is also peer-to-peer popular internet application, email. So person-to-person communication, when we go to 19th century, it's all about telephones. So you can relate it today that person-to-person communication is equivalent to calling on telephone. So email, what you use, you can now attach audio, video, text, pictures on an email. So this is person-to-person communication. And various internet users, they are using instant messaging. For example, you use Line, you use WhatsApp, you use Facebook Messenger. So this has come from a basic program called the Unix Talk program. Around 1970 it was. And here, two people can chat, can talk, can type message, get message on real time. This was derived from the Unix Talk program. Now, multi-purpose messaging services like the micro blogging sites, Twitter sites. Here, people can send short messages around 140 characters is given, and these are called tweets. And these tweets will be shared across the globe with all your followers. This is also a kind of person-to-person. The internet application. Here we have audio, we have video. Audio can be, streaming music like the Spotify or Ghana.com. Video is Netflix, Amazon Prime. YouTube is also this comes under this category. And Zoom, we have Google Team or Microsoft Team, or they are very important for distance learning, even for the geographically challenged people. Those people who are living or staying at remote area, they can get benefited by it. So between this person-to-person communication and between this accessing information, there is one more application called the social network. So person to person and accessing information, there in between we have one more applications, a set of applications, social network. For example, Orkut came, then Facebook came. Facebook is now everywhere. So here Facebook, basically it was made to connect to friends. Now you can create, update person profiles, you can do business, you are becoming popular on Facebook. This is the way of social media. Then we have Wiki. This is a collaborative website. Here people of a community can edit, can read, can work on it. This is Wiki. So I'll tell you about the most famous free encyclopedia, which is called Wikipedia. Now you get exact information, logical information, relevant information on Wikipedia. Electronic commerce is everywhere. You do online shopping. This is already popular. So there are thousands of companies offering millions of products, and you can just shop and get it at your doorstep. You are paying bills, you are managing your bank accounts, you are managing your investments, all using e-commerce. Financial technology, fintech. Now you can transfer money with your friends, with other people. And one more industry, which is a massive industry, is online auctions for these used goods, second-hand goods. So this has come up as a massive industry. But unlike this traditional e-commerce is basically a client-server model. E-commerce is based on client-server model. But the online auctions we are talking about, they are peer-to-peer. Why? Because once you do online auction, say if you are a seller, you are selling something, but you will be buying something also. So at the same time, you are a buyer, you are a seller also. So it's a kind of peer-to-peer. But let me tell you, we still have a central server in the peer-to-peer in this case, and the database is going to hold the products for sale. Now this numeral 2 and TO, this sounds equivalent. So that is how some name has come up, and these are being used widely in the industry, namely in e-commerce. So these are Q-related tags 2 and 2. So business to customer, B2C. So business to consumer. So if you want to order online, you are a consumer and the business is the publisher. Business to business, B2B. If you're a car manufacturer, you are asking for, say, a car tire, then you are doing business to business. Government to business, government to consumer, G2C. Now, if the government is distributing the text form, that is government to consumer. Consumer to consumer, online auction, consumer to consumer, the company and the tire company. P2P, peer-to-peer. We talked about music or file sharing, Skype. Entertainment. Now we are entertained everywhere. Flight, on your laptop, on your mobile. So now you can find and buy and download the songs, the movie, high definition, ultra high definition. Television has changed. Now because the television is now based on IP technology, IPTV. Rather than having those cable TV and radio transmission, now you have IPTV. And especially the internet radio stations, now you can watch your favorite TV shows or movies. For example, you are watching the Money Heist, you are watching the Squid Games, all and multiple times. In a single house, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, everybody is using device, everybody is watching something, and this is all going via a wireless network. That is how the network come here. There are new movies which are interactive. That is, at every point they are going to ask, tell us what to do. That is, if somebody is dying, if you want to save them, you can save them. So they are creating alternate scenarios. All the cases are there with us. This is how the entertainment world has changed. Live television is interactive. Live television, they are quiz shows. You can participate. You can choose the contestant. You can vote for them. So I was talking about this IPTV, and this picture is very important because the online game industry or the gaming industry, for example, the virtual dungeons and the simulators, they have gained immense, popularity. In the virtual world, it is providing us as a persistent setting. Now the user can experience on 3D. The Internet of Things. So this Internet of Things is very important because you know it. Mark Weiser. So he came up with the concept in 1991, ubiquitous computing. So he said this will be computers will be everywhere. So today we have security systems, we know the door and window sensors, every one of us has it. The smart electricity, gas, water meters, they will tell you what is the usage. There are smoke detectors. It can directly call the fire department, not just beeping. It is going to call the fire department. There are smart refrigerator. It will tell you that your milk is about to finish. So this all, we call them as Internet of Things. This is a revolution. And this is all about connecting every electronic device which we buy to the internet. Now we have high-end cameras. They can just send photos like the photographers. They send the photographs to the editors online. You can just have television like these are multiple things you can see on your mobile television. Power line networks. You know how much water you have used. Or even if you are taking bath, it will tell you the ladder is up. Please go down. Or just manage it. Even the report of environmental monitoring. These are the applications that can help you save the bill. Global warming. All these will help you in countering it. This is the Internet of Things. Every device is now connected, giving information. Types of computer networks. So we just talk about a very basic things which we know already, but from here we'll start with computer networks. Thank you so much.